In this tutorial, I want to show you the best way to sharpen your images in Photoshop. And I just want to inform you that the best way to sharpen your images is always after you have done the skin retouch and maybe color grading. And this is going to be the very last step for your skin retouching or post-production. So you should take that into consideration. Before we can proceed, I would like to request you guys to hit the like button on this video so that YouTube can push this to more people out there who are interested in learning about how to retouch and how to do post-production, especially using Photoshop and other different softwares, and also photography in general. So let me just give you a moment to hit the like button on this video so that YouTube can help us recommend this to more people out there. Hoping you're done hitting the like button, I want to proceed with this tutorial and inform you that sharpening should be done on different parts of the image. And remember, sharpening or the level of sharpening is going to differ from one part of the photo to another. So you shouldn't just slap a given sharpening effect onto the overall image, and that is what we want to cover in this very tutorial. The very first thing we want to do before doing any sharpening to our photo is first of all create a copy from the background layer by hitting Ctrl or Command J, since we only have the background layer to work with. So just make a duplicate by hitting Ctrl or Command J, and we can name this to sharpening. And if at all you have been doing maybe a couple of retouching and you have various layers, you just have to create a copy or a virtual copy from every adjustment you have applied from those layers by hitting Shift Alternate Command E on the keyboard, or Shift Alternate Control E for Windows, and that is going to create for you a merged visible layer for all the processes that you have done to your image. So after creating that layer, we just want to come and desaturate this layer, and in order to do that, we're just going to come to Image, Adjustments, and we come all the way to Desaturate. So it is going to desaturate as the overall image. Remember, when we are sharpening the image, we don't want it to be sharpened and we have those kind of weird colors or weird halos resulting from the sharpening effect that we apply to the photo. And after desaturating the photo or our portrait, the next thing is going to be coming to the blend mode right here and change the blend mode to overlay. So just come and scroll down to overlay. I know this looks a little bit weird and awkward, but this is the best way you have to do it so that it doesn't affect the colors as you're trying to do the sharpening or apply the sharpening to your photo. So after applying the overlay blend mode to your photo, just come and simply, you can make sure this layer is selected and come to filter, and you convert it into a smart filter or a smart object and simply hit OK. So the reason for this is because we are going to be applying a filter on this sharpening layer, and we just want to be in control or able to change these values later on in this, if at all we don't want or we don't like the results, or if at all we have overdone the results resulting from sharpening of this image. So after converting it into a smart filter or a smart object, we are going to come right here to filter. I hope you can see this. Then we come to other and we come and apply a high pass filter to this layer. So just come and click on high pass, and when you come to high pass, you can see that when your radius is all the way to 0, there is not going to be any effect on your image. And now for this case, we first of all want to sharpen, for example, the hair, and we target part of the clothing. Remember what I told you at the start of this tutorial: when you're doing the sharpening or when you're applying the sharpening to your images or your photos, we have to apply a varying sharpening effect on the image. So the hair and the outfit may be having a different value of sharpening as it is for the skin and maybe the eyes and the lips of a model. So just want to focus first on the hair and the outfit of the model. So you're just going to simply move the radius up just like that as we are looking at these two areas, that is the hair and the outfit of our model right here. So I'm just going to move this. I'm just going to leave it at 7, and you can see the hair and the outfit really look sharp, but this is also affecting the skin of the model. So just want to handle that in the next step. So just come and hit OK right there. So you can see the before and after for a sharpening, and it is also affecting the skin like I've just told you. I'm just going to come to the layer mask icon and simply click on this option right here. So just click, make sure the sharpening layer is selected, and click on this add layer mask icon, and it's going to create a white layer mask for us right here. So just want to remove the sharpening from the skin of the model and the areas that we don't want to sharpen. In this case, remember for the first step, we're focusing more on the hair and the outfit of the model. So in order to eliminate it from the skin and maybe the eyes and other parts of the skin or the model skin, we just have to come to the brushes and get a soft round brush with the opacity at 100% and the flow 100%. So the settings for a brush, it is a soft round brush, the hardness is at 0, and come and make sure the foreground is black. Remember, we just want to unsee or hide the sharpening from the skin of the model. That's why we are going to be using a black brush to paint on this white layer mask. Remember, in Photoshop, white reveals, that's why you can see a sharpening, and black is going to be hiding the effect from the model's skin or the areas that we don't want to be affected. So make sure you have white on top, and in order to reset, just click on these two tiny boxes right here, and you'll see black and white right here. And in order to get black or white on top, use X on the keyboard, and that is going to toggle between black and white color swatches. So this is going to be black. Make sure black is on top and white is just below black, and use the open and close brackets, or I usually call them the box brackets on the keyboard, and simply paint on the areas you don't want to be affected by the sharpening effect. So I'm just going to paint over the skin and half face so that it is not affected, and we apply a way different sharpening field to the areas that we want to sharpen. So I'm just going to paint on the hand or the arm of the model just like that, and this is going to remove the sharpening from those areas just like that. So you can see it has managed to eliminate the sharpening from the eyes and the skin of the model in general. So right now we are done doing that. You can see the only sharp areas are the model's outfit. Let me zoom in slightly. You can see the model's outfit, and also this jewelry is really sharpened, and also the hair of the model. So in order not to go through the tedious process of having to desaturate and create all those layers for yourself, you can come to this layer, and you're going to make a duplicate of this layer by hitting or clicking Ctrl or Command J on the keyboard to make a copy out of that layer. And you're going to come and select this layer mask and make sure we delete it. So I'm just going to make sure it is selected and come right here to delete layer mask. So we don't want the sharpening to, so this is more of step 2 for a sharpening. So after you have duplicated this layer and deleted the layer mask that we had on this layer, on our new layer, we just want to focus more on sharpening specific areas of the image. And for this case, we only want to sharpen the eyes and the lips of the model. And in order to do that, we're just going to come back and create a layer mask on this layer, and you're going to now invert this layer mask by hitting or clicking Ctrl I or Command I on the keyboard. So hit Ctrl or Command I on the keyboard to remove sharpening from the overall image, just like that. And we are going to use a black brush this time around because we want to reveal the sharpening hidden behind the black mask. Remember, I told you in Photoshop, white is going to reveal and black is going to hide. So we want to use a white brush to reveal what is hidden behind this black mask, and that is for the sharpening of the areas that we want to sharpen for this case. So reduce on the size. For this case, we just want to sharpen the eyes and the lips of the model, and we don't want to sharpen the skin because that is going to be looking awkward at the end of it all. So just come and start painting using a white brush, just like that, and you can see the eyes are going to get sharper, and you're going to be having more detail within the eyes. And you can come and also do the painting on maybe the eyebrows, just like that, to add that sharpening effect or feel to the eyebrows. And now we could add sharpening to the lips if at all you really wish to, and just come and sharpen that area. And you can see these areas are really making or adding sharpening as opposed to the rest of the image. So just sharpen those areas, and you're going to use Ctrl or Command minus to zoom out. So you can see we have added that sharpening, and if at all you feel like you want to add a little bit more sharpening to the areas that you have sharpened, for example the eyes and the lips, just come this layer and duplicate it by hitting Ctrl or Command J on the keyboard, and that is going to be adding a little bit more of the sharpening, but I feel like this is too much for our liking. I'm just going to remember we created a smart object or a smart filter. You can come and simply double click on this high pass filter. So when you double click on it, you can adjust or reduce on the radius of our duplicate layer for the sharpening of the eyes and lips, and simply hit OK. So you can come and also adjust the sharpening for the previous step by simply double clicking right here, and you can reduce or increase on the intensity of that sharpening depending on what you want, and simply hit OK. So this is more of the advantage of using smart filters to do your process in Photoshop and converting your layers into smart objects. I'm just going to hit Ctrl or Command minus on the keyboard, and we are going to group these layers by selecting the topmost layer and using Shift and clicking on the bottommost layer, which is the sharpening layer, and hitting Ctrl or Command G on the keyboard, and we can name this to sharpening, just like that. And you're going to see the overall before and after for a sharpening of this image. So this is the image before sharpening, and this is the after before and after. You can see our image is really sharp. Let me try zooming in for you. So look at the outfit and the jewelry of the model. This is the before sharpening and the after before after. And let's look at the face and the hair of the model. This is the before sharpening, and this is the after before before after. I hope you can see the difference this has made. And remember, we have been applying different levels of sharpening to different areas of the image and not slapping the whole sharpening to the overall image. So basically this is how to best sharpen your images in Photoshop. And if at all you have loved this, don't forget to give this video a like button or a like so that YouTube can recommend and push it to more people interested in learning from retouching and post-production in general, and also photography in general. I am Ronnix from Ronnix Photography. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in yet more amazing tutorials, and don't forget to keep practicing and also keep creating.